Hello Professor, welcome to our group presentation. Today we will show you about how we develop the application and demonstrate how to use it. First of all, let me tell you what our topic is. Our topic is a Learning Hub mobile application which called LearningMate. These are topics we're going to present about today. Let's begin with the software development process. We separate into the two main parts. The first one is requirement analysis and document preparation. In this part of the process, we are agreed to use the waterfall as a development process because with waterfall in preparation part, it helps us to manage the document easier than using agile with it at the start. Due to the lack of skill and with this method when we sprint, it is easier for us to follow the track. Next is implementation part. Here we decide to follow the Scrum process paradigm. So we will get familiar with it because most of the business using this paradigm right now. However, we did not follow everything in Scrum. We have adapted in some part. Normally in Scrum, these are the main activity according to what we learned, which are product backlog, sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. But in our group project, we decided to not have daily Scrum and sprint retrospective. The reason we did not include daily Scrum is because the time conflict we have to each other. And for sprint retrospective, it is because when we're working together, normally we already feedback to each other while working. So we left with four main activities. For product and sprint backlog, they are essential part we could not remove. For sprint planning, it helps us what we have to do in each sprint and we could not live it without the plan. Lastly, for the sprint review, it helps us to see the process of each time, how it's going, and be able to plan the next move. In total, we have done 5 sprints. Each sprint takes 5 days.
Let's go next to UML class diagram. For the use case diagram, it consists of 31 components and 5 actors, which are unregistered, registered user, teacher, student, and backend system, to connect within the software. To clarify the connect component for each actor, an unregistered user is a user who has yet to be registered for the software they need to be registered first. The teacher is a user who can view the teaching schedule, posting assignment, view assignment status, and access the learning zone. The student is a user who can also access the learning zone, view the schedule, view assignment, and submit assignments. And lastly, the registered user is a user who can access the same component of both teacher and student in software. For the dependency among the components, for example, on adjusting the setting, when the user need to adjust the setting in the software, that means they need many choice to choose between the component, like changing the language, view help section, and notification setting. And in the view help section component, it also has the report problem and view the support center components. For the component diagram, we design 9 components among 3 main subsystems, which are the backend, local server, and cloud server for application UI. And the backend subsystem consists of 2 parts, which are the local server and cloud server. In the local server, we design by providing interface, which are the assignment, schedule manager, planner, chat room, and file manager. And then it connects to the database through the resource manager as a node. Lastly, login and register system or authentication component must connect to database component to authenticate the user. In the sequence diagram, we have about 9 diagrams, but we decide to choose the post-assignment sequence diagram to show as an example. For this diagram, it consists of 13 messages and 4 participants. At first, before posting an assignment, the teacher needs to place the button in the software, which is the show form message. Second, after filling all the information, the software will ask for confirmation. Next, when the teacher confirms, the data will send to the assignment system, but the assignment system needs to fetch all the assignment data from the database first to check whether the assignment that's going to insert is duplicate or not. Next, when the assignment is not duplicated, it will create an assignment to the database. Lastly, the system will prompt the message as success and navigate to the home page.
And the next section is our software architecture. Because our software is a mobile application, we chose React Native as our first tool in our development stack. And because React Native is just a library, we need JavaScript following in our stack. And for React Native and JavaScript, we put this tool into the client development. But that is not enough. We also need Node.js and Express in order to set up our server development also. And the next tool that we use is MySQL. We use MySQL to store the relational data in the database. And we also use Firebase to store the unstructured data such as files. And its authentication feature is required as well. With the combination of MySQL and Firebase, we use this tool to set up the database for our application. And that is most of the tool we use. We connect the client to server development by using APIs. And the server query data from the database. Because we work as a team, it's hard to update the MySQL database individually. So we came up with the Amazon Web Service to host our MySQL database. By using this, every team member can access the same database on the cloud hosting. And that's all the tools we need in our development stack for this project. And the following section that I will talk about is the UX UI usability. Here's a color that we first came up with, but the only one color is not enough, so we came up with another color which will make our application implemented in the black and orange color. With the combination of black and orange scheme, this will make it easier for users to distinguish between different elements on the screen. The orange is often associated with energy and warmth. It can evoke a positive and vibrant feel, making our UI more engaging and lively. And lastly, black backgrounds provide a neutral canvas for text and other elements, ensuring good readability. And after we got the color scheme, we utilize it with our UI. And here is our landing page. We use black as a background and contrast with the orange as a target button, which is a register button. And the next page is login. Here we use the same strategy, which our login button is now the target button. And next is the register page. We are still following the same strategy to guarantee the consistency of our software. And the following page is the home page. This page is divided into two main sections, which are schedule at the top and assignment at the bottom. In the schedule section, we have learning schedule and planner for each day in the week. User can select a specific day to view the schedule on that day. And in the assignment section, user can view the upcoming assignments and its submission date as a list. Also, we have the navigation bar at the bottom, which can let user navigate to other pages. So let's navigate to the Learning Zone page. Here, user can view their classes filtered by the academic semester at the top right drop-down menu. If user click on a class, it will navigate to this page. For each class, user can see the class announcement, assignments, files, and records. And let's move on to the planner page. User can add, edit, and delete a planner here. If user add a new event here, it will show on the home page too. And the following page is chat, which we couldn't implement it in the real project because of the time constraint. However, we firstly have a design for it. This page shows the chat room for each class that users enroll in. So if we move into a chat room, user can see and send the messages in the chat room. And our last main page is the profile page. Here, the user can see the profile, personal information, grade results, and also the activity. If user click on the grade result section, user will be navigated to the grade result page. In this page, User can see the grade for each class, and it can be filtered by the semester drop-down menu. And the last is the activity page, which user can see all the activities and hours they have got for each. This can be filtered by the semester drop-down menu as well. And here is most of our user interface design. As I mentioned before, we decided to use black and orange theme, so our application icon is designed following that theme as well.
Next is our group naming, structure, and coding style. For naming conventions, we use all of these three, which are snake case, camel case, and Pascal case, with each being implemented in different fields. The first one being snake case, which we use inside the RDBMS database server for naming both the entity name as well as their respective columns. Next is camel case, which we use for many things of the application code itself, including function names, routes which manage the navigation, style sheets for customization, hooks for APIs, and backend configuration. Last is Pascal case, which we only use for our custom React Native UI components, such as buttons and widget lists. Then, we will move on to the project structure, which will cover the code organization made by our group. Note that some folders are initialized automatically and will not be covered in details. The first custom folder is Assets, which contains icons and images used. Backend is for API server. Components is for different reusable UI components. Database is for file-based configuration. Routes contains the custom written navigation part between screens. Screens contains all different pages that the user can view, and styles, which contains all style sheets used. Last, for this section is our coding style, which includes formatting and comments. We use a VS Code extension called Prettier to automate the formatting process, which makes every code written standardized. For comments, we have three main parts. First is header. This part is for the definition of what is being described. Next is the scope. This part is for managing long, lengthy code by marking the start and the end. Last is additional comments, where if extra clarity is needed.
Since we have known about the application for both functionality and architecture design, we can move to the video demo to see how the software interacts with the user, showing all features correctly provided. Here we have been on the landing screen, which asks for user registration or login. First, we will start with registration for the teacher user. The university email is used because we assume that we can use API requests from university information, for example, user role or schedule. And the password to register has to be more than 6 letters. If a password is different from the confirmation, the system will alert some text. Otherwise, ask for the registration confirmation to the user to use this account. Then we will navigate to the home page. On this page, at the top part of the screen, the teacher can see their teaching schedule and other activity according to the date selected. In this case, the teacher has only 2 days to teach. By the way, at the bottom part, it will show the assignment that has been posted, and we can immediately post the assignment by clicking on the plus button. Then we can select the class and provide other information like title, instruction, attached file, and due date. As a result, a recent assignment is shown with the number of students submitted. Next is the learning zone. When we first access this page, it will show all the subjects that the user belongs to and teach in that specific semester and year. Then, in each subject, there are announcement, assignment, file, and recording provide as a central management. We can add any of this by pressing the plus button at the top right of the screen. Here, the teacher adds some material file for the lecture. Select from the local storage. The added file and record can be edited, delete, and download for each. For the announcement, when the teacher changes the section, it will be changed to the student's screen as well. Now we can move to the planner page. We can add a planner by pressing the plus button, and then we have to select what type of the plan would be, the title, detail, and start time of that plan. Furthermore, we can add the plan for the other date while we are staying on a different date. For example, we want to add the 6th on Wednesday. Notice that we select the shield type for this plan. The icon of the plan will be different. We also can edit the plan information and delete it. Since the planner is one of the activity, we decided it to be shown in the schedule on the top of the homepage screen as well. For the chat feature, it is still in progress. Lastly, the profile screen will first show the not in detail, which we can press to see the Tarab one as shown. And the user can change their profile picture. Essentially, the user can log out of the system.
In addition, we can navigate across the login and register screen. Then, we will focus on the student, which assume that the student user is enrolled in the app already. Then, we can log in if the input information is wrong, and it will alert. So, on the student homepage, the top part would show the student schedule for each day. And we can see all the period if the schedule change the display area. The bottom part displays the assignment that the student hasn't submitted yet, according to recently posted by the teacher. In the learning zone, the display subject would be based on the study of each semester and year, similar to the teacher. So, when accessing the individual subject, assignment, file, record, and announcement would be according to the teacher. But the student can submit their assignment from their phone. We can refresh the assignment list on the homepage. The planner and chat for the student is also the same as the teacher. Then, we can move to the profile screen. There will be a lot of differences in the teacher, whether the greater amount of personal information like study room or advisor. Significantly, the grade result will be calculated and shown based on each academic year. And the activity hour that the student has also. The profile picture change is the same as the teacher. Next is about our team member. Thanatat Sincharoen, responsible for back-end developing. Pannawat Durongrittichai takes part on front-end developer. Phornphat Chanthanarak, responsible for front-end development. Sirivarakul Jiropakarn takes part on front-end developing. And Ramin Suchatnitikul, responsible for database administrator. So this is all about our final presentation. Thank you for your attention.